Have you ever smelled a lie? It's not a sound you hear or a flicker of the eyes you see. It's a scent. For me, it was a new perfume on my wife's skin, a cloying, sweet fragrance that didn't belong in our life, in our home, on our bedsheets. I called it Santel 33. I called it suspicion. I clung to her clothes when she came home late from work dinners, a ghost of another world I wasn't invited into. She thought I was just a simple, trusting husband, too busy providing to ever look closer. She thought I wouldn't notice the scent of betrayal clinging to her like a second skin. But I noticed everything, and my noticing was the beginning of her end. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The first time I smelled it, Sarah had just walked in, cheeks flushed from the crisp Chicago air, or so she said. It was nearly midnight. Long meeting with the partners from New York, she'd sighed, dropping her briefcase by the door of our Lincoln Park brownstone. They're absolute slave drivers. I'd bought her a new briefcase for our anniversary just a month prior. Beautiful leather piece from Coach. Now the sight of it made my stomach clench. I went to kiss her, and that's when it hit me. It wasn't her usual light, floral scent. This was something musky, unisex, expensive. New perfume? I asked, trying to keep my voice light. She pulled back, a flicker of something annoyance. Panic in her eyes before it was replaced by a dazzling smile. Oh, this. Girl at the office had a sample. Do you like it? I lied and said I did. That night, I lay awake long after her breathing had evened out. The foreign sent a suffocating presence in our shared bed. Her strange behavior started subtly. The phone, once left carelessly on the kitchen counter, was now permanently attached to her hand or hidden in her purse. She started working late more often, her texts becoming shorter, more perfunctory. Just leaving now, so tired, don't wait up. The warmth that had defined our 10-year marriage was evaporating, replaced by a chilling efficiency. One evening, I found a receipt in her coat pocket, a dinner for two at Gibson's Bar and Steakhouse on Rush Street, dated for a night she was supposedly working late on a solo project. The total was over $400. I knew her salary. This was an extravagance she wouldn't indulge in for a simple work meal. My heart hammered against my ribs. It was a puzzle piece, but I didn't know what the final picture looked like yet. I just knew it was ugly. The discovery came on a Tuesday. She was in the shower, and her phone, left for once on the nightstand, buzzed. A name I didn't recognize flashed on the screen. Mark. The message preview was a dagger. Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you. Same time next week. My world tilted on its axis. The air left my lungs. Mark. I scrolled through her call history. The name was there dozens of times. Late at night, early in the morning. I felt a cold, hollowing humiliation wash over me. I was a fool. The loyal, trusting husband who paid the mortgage on the brownstone where his wife planned her trysts with another man. She became colder after that, as if my silent suspicion was an inconvenience to her. She'd look at me with a detached pity, a manipulative coolness that made my blood run cold. She and this Mark, they felt untouchable, wrapped in their bubble of deceit and expensive perfume. The breakdown happened a week later. I was in my car, parked in a dark garage on Dearborn Street, across from a boutique hotel I now knew she frequented. I had followed her. I watched her get out of a cab, smooth down her dress, and walk into the lobby where a man, Mark, I presumed, was waiting. He was smug, handsome in a generic way, and he put his hand on the small of her back with an infuriating familiarity. I watched them disappear into the elevator, and something inside me shattered. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles were white, a raw, guttural sob tearing from my throat. It was the sound of a man whose life had just been burned to the ground. In that moment, the loyal husband died, and something else, something strategic and ruthless, was born from the ashes. My grief turned to ice. I spent the next 2 months gathering proof. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who documented every hotel visit, every long lunch, every clandestine meeting in dimly lit bars. He gave me a folder thick with photographs and reports. I opened a new bank account and began quietly moving my savings. I met with the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a shark named Ms. Albright, who listened to my story with a grim, satisfying focus. We set the traps, legal and social. Sarah's arrogance was her undoing. She never saw it coming. She was too busy living her double life, basking in the thrill of her affair. The public exposure was a masterpiece of quiet devastation. Sarah's parents were celebrating their 40th anniversary with a huge party at the Drake Hotel. Her entire family, all her friends, her work colleagues, everyone was there. She was radiant, laughing, accepting congratulations on a recent promotion.
Ow.
During the toast, I stood up. I spoke of love, of family, of loyalty. Then my tone shifted. But sometimes, I said, my voice ringing with a cold clarity, the promises we make are broken. Sometimes, the people we trust the most are the ones who betray us in the deepest way. I projected the PI's photos onto the large screen behind me. Sarah and Mark kissing in a hotel lobby. Sarah and Mark holding hands across a dinner table. Sarah and Mark, his hand on her leg, her head on his shoulder. A collective gasp went through the room. The silence was absolute, deafening. Sarah's face went from shock to horror to a pale, waxy white. Her father stared at the screen, his face a mask of fury. Her mother started to cry. I placed a single manila envelope on the table in front of her. "Divorce papers," I said softly, for only her to hear. "And a copy of the prenup you signed. My lawyer will be in touch." She was ruined. Her family disowned her. Her company, embarrassed by the public scandal, fired her under a vague morals clause. Mark, the smug affair partner, disappeared the moment things got complicated. Coward, just as I'd expected. She lost the house, her career, her reputation. She was left with nothing but the lingering scent of a perfume she could no longer afford. Sometimes, late at night, when the city is quiet, I stand by the window of my new apartment, overlooking the lake. The life I had is gone, burned away. But in the stillness, I find a strange cold peace. The perfume is gone, the lies are gone, and all that's left is the silence where a marriage used to be. The end.